So in this class, we are going to discuss about call by value concept in function. Okay. So before explaining this call by value, you should know how to use this function concept in C program. So whenever you use a function concept in C program, three factors you have to consider: function declaration, function calling, and function definition. Okay. So with this three concept, you can write a function concept in C program. Okay, let me give you an introduction in call by value concept. What is this call by value? Normally we call a function, okay, with its name. Whenever you want to call a function, we call that function with its name. Okay, in case if you want to pass any arguments or values or parameters to a function, how do you pass? Okay, when you call a function, we just simply represent the parameters or argument value inside the function call. So that function value, okay, that parameter values or argument values will be passed from your function call to the function definition. So this is the normal way of calling a function with the arguments or parameter values. Okay, so what is this call by value? Okay, in case if you are passing a value from the main program to the function definition, okay, with the same variable name, so whatever changes in case after you pass the value to the function definition, in case if you are changing any values, okay, if you are changing the values of that variable in your function definition, that value, okay, that changes will not affect your main program variable values. That we call it as call by value. We give a name for those parameters. The parameters that is given in the main function are called actual parameters. The parameters which is given in the function definition, okay, those parameters names are called formal parameters. Okay, when you see this highlighted definition of call by value, any changes made in the formal parameters will not affect the actual parameters value. Okay, now we are going to see a code for this call by value with swapping of two values. See here, I have a header file followed by the function definition, This is my function definition. Okay, so this is a function definition for swapping of two values. How do I swap? Okay, with this is a code to swap two values with temporary variable. Okay, so this is my function definition and my function name is swap of. So I have two parameters inside my function. The first parameter is int a and second parameter is int b. And what are all the variables declared here? Int temp equal to, that is temp is nothing but a temporary variable used for swapping two values. Okay, so this is a logic that is given inside my function definition. And after I swap these values a and b, okay, values are printed here. This is my function code, okay, function definition code. Now see the main program. In the main program also I have the same variable name. What is that variables? A and b. When you see the function definition, my function definition is also having the same variable name a and b. Okay, if same variable name is used in both main program and my function definition, the parameters or the variables that is used in the main program, which we call it as actual parameters. The variables that is used in the function definition, okay, those parameters we call it as a formal parameters. So main program variables are called as actual parameters. Parameters in function we call it as formal parameters. And what is call by value? Any changes we made in the formal parameters in the function definition. Okay, those parameters values changes will not affect the actual parameter values. Okay, so this is the concept of call by value. See the main program, I have two variables a and b. A value is 5 and b value is 10. Okay, before swap, I'm just printing the value of a and b and I'm calling the function now. So when I call the function swap of, what it will do, the compiler will go here and execute the code that is given here. So temp equal to a and b values are, a value is 5 and b value is 10. That values will be passed when I call the function and assigned it to the variables of my user defined function. So here also a variable value is 5 and b variable value is 10. Okay, now I am doing a swap. Okay, now I'm doing a swap with a temporary variable. So that values of A and B will swap and print it here. When I print, the A value will become 10 and B value will become 5. Okay, now the code that is given inside the function definition is completed. So what it will do is done. So what it will do, the compiler will come back to the, once the code that is given in the function definition is executed, or okay, if it's all the statement that is given inside the function definition is completed, what it will do, it will come back to the main program. So it will come back to the place where it is called, this bar we called the function, it will come back here. Okay, in the main program, when you try to print the A and B values, it will print only this 5 and 10 that is given in the main program. But then what we do in the function definition, which we have already swapped the values of A and B. So A value become 10 and 5 in my function definition. But then when you print in the main program A and B values, that values remain the same. A value was 5 and B value was 10. Okay, so whatever B value was 10. So whatever changes I made in the function definition is not actually reflecting in the main program. Okay, so this concept is called as call by value. Okay, why the values are not edited or not changed in the main program? Why? Because separate memory space is allocated for main program and your function definition. Since separate memory is allocated for both a function, my main function and user-defined function, whatever changes you made in the user-defined function will not affect your main program variables. Okay, so that's that concept we call it as call by values. This is my output before swap. So this is the printf statement. So before swap, my A and B values are 10. Inside swap function. So this is my swap function. Inside swap function, I actually swapped the values of A and B. So initially my A value was 5 and B value was 10. When I swap, A value becomes 10 and B value becomes 5. So this is my output inside the swap function. Inside, after I swap from the main function, if I print the values of A and B, it will give you 5 and 10 only. The changes, the swap will not be reflected in your main program. So simply I'll have the values of A and B as same, okay, just like the initialization. So this concept we call it as call by value.